Hello, everyone. This is Allegedly Caleb, and I am back with something brand new and exciting. So, I'm currently in a 2v2 Poland 39 campaign game of the September 1st through September 14th scenario. So, we're playing the first 2 weeks. It's about 158 turns, so this is going to be a long one. Each turn is like, it takes us a while to complete. This is a big game, and there are so many units. But I'll give you a quick overview of how we've set the game up. So, again, like I mentioned, we have two players on each side. Two players playing the Poles and two players playing the Germans, or more accurately, the Allies and Axis. On the Polish side, in this scenario, there's only one nation here. In other scenarios, there's different versions of this big campaign game. For example, you could play a game where the French committed a larger SAR offensive. So, what that essentially entails is that the Poles get a little more breathing room and a little more help from the other allied nations, including a French expeditionary force. We aren't playing with any of that. We're playing the normal version of the campaign. We're playing with mobilization, which is a new mechanic in the Panzer campaigns game. So essentially, we have to hold certain hexes as our forces mobilize and prepare and gather. So not all of our divisions start on the map. But anyway, we broke down our armies into between two players. So me and the other player on my team, I'll leave them unnamed for now. We split our armies, and here, let me pull up the OOB, Order of Battle. So we have a lot of forces here. The Poles are definitely less organized than the Germans are. The Germans, you have your Army Group North and your Army Group South. For the German team, it's pretty easy for them to split their armies between those two, and that's exactly what they did. On our hand, we had to figure out, all right, how are we going to split up all of these different armies, all of these different, how would you describe them? Like core level groups that aren't necessarily a core. How are we going to split up all these groups? So what we did is we tried to divide it by manpower. And by manpower, we also split it up by generally who's in the north and generally who's in the south. So under my command is Army Modlin, which encompasses a lot of this northern area on the map. Army Pomorze. This is the army that is, I'm not getting it confused with Poznan, right? Yeah, okay. Army Pomorze is the army that pretty much was in charge of the Polish corridor. Historically, most of them got surrounded and destroyed before they could mount any real effective resistance. I'm looking to change that. I'll get into my strategy in a little bit, though. Army Poznan. This is the army that was in charge of defending Poznan, which I think was their second largest city. It might be around the same size as Krakow. Oh no, Krakow's right around here somewhere. There it is. Yeah, similar sizes to Krakow, but historically the Germans did not actually go after Poznan. They just enveloped it. So those are our three armies. My teammate is in charge of Army Lotz, which is still building up, but Army Krakow, or we might have not assigned Lotz yet. We'll see who needs it as the Germans push. But he's been assigned Army Krakow, which is the largest army. Army Karpaty, which is in charge of the southern mountain area. And then I feel like he was in charge of someone else too. Maybe Army Prusy. Someone else. Yeah, I think that's who he was in charge of. But anyway, I also have some of these core level groups who are also in charge of holding this northern line along the German East Prussia. Here we go. And finally, the last group I have that's notable, here they are the forces around Gdynia, which is close to Danzig, which was a free city but wanted to be part of Germany. Or at least that's what the Germans said, and I believe it's true. So I'm pretty much controlling all of the northern forces, and my teammate is controlling all of our southern forces. Now, obviously, if you're in this campaign and you're playing on the other side, again, I won't say your name. If you're in that campaign, please refrain from watching this because it might be unfair that you're seeing where our troops are. I can't stop that, obviously, but I feel like everyone here is honorable enough to withhold from watching. So if you are one of those members, feel free to leave a comment and tell me, oh, I don't care, Caleb, I know where all your troops are now. But I seriously doubt that any of them will do that. But anyway, so I'll go over my situation. The enemies played their first turn. Essentially what they did was just beat up all our border guard units and prepare for their main divisions to come into Poland. So I'll go over this division by division. So we have this 9th division here. They are spread out. Pretty much all of our divisions are really spread out and covering way more frontage than a division typically is supposed to. So my goal with these guys, and almost all of these divisions start out fixed, so I'll be waiting until they're unfixed. But my goal with them, do I have Epic Pen open? I do, perfect. Let me close this. My goal with them is to get these guys out of Dodge and across this river as quickly as we can. Historically, the Germans were able to cut them off before they could really do anything important. So we want to ensure that doesn't happen. Part of the German victory conditions in this game is destroying as many of our forces as possible. I mean, they can win by capturing some of our large cities, but our large cities are only 2,000 points each. And that includes like Warsaw. I think Warsaw has 4,000 points. And some of our other cities like Krakow, 2,000 points. Even Poznan was only like 500 points, considering it wasn't a strategic objective of the Germans. So with that in mind, a large portion of the Germans' victory points are going to come from destroying our units, and we need to stop that. So one of the critiques of the Polish positioning at the outset of this campaign is that their forces were spread far too thin, their divisions were covering way too much frontage, and they did not, basically their main line of resistance was way too long, had gaps all over the place. And because of that, the Germans were easily able to break through with their mobile forces and encircle these forces, causing hundreds of thousands of Poles to have to surrender. So we want to avoid that, and the way we're going to do that is by retreating, tactically retreating all of our forces that are way too far out here back. And we want to reduce our frontage with the Germans. So with that in mind, that's going to be the main strategy that we focus on. Our other big division up here, or not division, this is actually a brigade. No, it is a division. This is our 27th Infantry Division. So they're defending this river line here, the Vistula, or Wistula as you say in Polish. We succeeded in destroying all of the bridges across the Wistula. You can see over here. That was really important for us. So we succeeded in destroying those and the fords. So now they cannot cross here unless they use... Well, they can cross up here at least. But they can't cross along here unless they use their engineers. So that's good for us. Now we're going to be able to bring these forces down And again, try to cross maybe here at Grudziatz, where we have a strong frontage against the Germans over on the other side of the Vistula. We have one more unit. This is one of our cavalry brigades, which they don't have numbers, they have names. So this is the Pomorska Cavalry Brigade. We're going to try and screen our 9th Infantry Division as they retreat with them. So we also have this big ON group. Basically, these are, OW is what they say here. These are regional troops that were pretty much lived around this area and around the other areas, because this is not the only OW group. There are OW groups all over Poland that defended their cities and their towns. They're almost like militias, but they're officially in the army. So they are also going to be screening and holding off against some of the German units that are coming in here while we get these guys out of dodge. It's not helpful that they are still fixed, though. Anyway, if they make contact with any of these forces that are further out, then we can start bringing them back. Anyway, so that's our plan with them. Again, we want to hold this. That's a big objective, at least for a little bit, while we get them out. This cavalry brigade is going to come down here and slowly retreat along these two highways. More likely this highway, actually. And yeah, that's their objective. I'm actually going to be reviewing this with my teammates soon. Down here, this is the city of Bydgoszcz. If you're Polish, please help me pronounce these. I am so bad with the Polish language. Again, English is my primary language, and Polish does not come to the English speaker easily. We're going to reduce our frontage over here. Pretty much just wrap it up along here, along this river probably, actually. The Berta River. Maybe create some sort of perimeter along here, and then another perimeter along here, defending the bridge at Chelmo. You can see that this might be another important withdrawal point. And then in the south, they have some forces coming over here, but I don't think it's a lot. So unless they bring troops south to put pressure on us down here, I don't think they have many forces coming from this direction. Oh, this will all be helpful to prepare for my meeting with my teammate. So these guys, we're probably going to end up bringing them further up. You can see we have a lot of all these troops over here are their border regiments, which are a lot bigger than ours. So they have a lot more manpower. That's how I think of it. Anyway, now eventually what we'll do with these guys is once we have all of these troops, you can see this objective is not, it's just important that we hold it for 28 turns. They are a supply source as well, so if they take that, all the troops up to the north of here will have a hard time getting supplied. So we want to hold this area for however long 28 turns is. I think that's like 3 days maybe. Let's calculate this really quick. So each turn, you got your 5 o'clock turn, then your 6 o'clock turn. Then after that, it's 2 hours a turn, I believe. So 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 22, 24, 2, 4, 5. I don't think that's right. I'll have to double check how many turns are in a game. Although it might say in the parameters. So, dawn and dusk. Night turns are 4 hours. Oh, that's why. So, once dawn and dusk are day turns. Each of those are 2 hours. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So that's 7 turns. And then 19, 21, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 1, 2, 3. That doesn't make sense. I guess there's only 2 night turns because 19. Anyway, I'll figure all that out. There's probably like 8-ish turns per turn in here, or per day. So it's important that we hold this for about 3 days, I think, is how long we need to hold that. And then we can withdraw south of the Vistula. Now, with that, we've got all of these divisions. So this division's frontage is actually really good. This is how compact we need to be. The Poles tried to defend way too much territory with way too few men. So we need to try and get our men compacted like this. So they're going to stay here for a while. Oh, but the problem is we just don't have enough forces to do that. These guys, debating. I need to figure out where exactly I want to move these troops. Oops. So this is the 4th Infantry Division. Oh, what was this orange one? That's the 16th Infantry Division. Then we've got this red one, which I believe is a cavalry brigade. Yep, the Novogrodska Cavalry Brigade. Essentially what they're going to be doing is just screening the flank of these guys, because this is another strong point. The Smolwa position, historically, that gave the Germans quite the bloody nose. Because you can see these are all bunkers, or pillboxes, which are even stronger than bunkers in this game. So we're going to try and hold this frontage for a little bit. Or should we just straight up start withdrawing? Maybe our steps are, once we get our units out from these areas, we'll have more coming down from here, and through this area, and the bridges further south. Then, once that happens, we can start withdrawing these guys south. Luckily, we've got good roads here. That's one of the things that I like about Poland. We have good roads to move on. But if the Germans break through, that's good roads for them to use. And there's so much open ground over here. So maybe what we do is on our flanks, gosh, there's just no good ground to hold over here. Look, it's all, well, I guess there's this river, the Wikra. What if we, because rivers are good to hold. Oh yeah, that could be good. What if we held up here. And then slowly these divisions start withdrawing on the flanks. Well, there's several points for us to go to. So maybe what we should be doing is withdrawing to our bridges along the Vistula. That might be what we need to do. And then maybe along the Wikra too. Anyway, we'll come up with more of a plan. Most of these units aren't even... Well, these guys are unfixed now because they actually bumped... The enemy made the mistake of bumping into us before they were ready. I don't think we're going to face very strong resistance over on the Nauru. So we should be good over here. Even have a full cavalry brigade up here. I don't think they're attack. Yeah, Brigade Goldap. That's a irregular formation. So they're not going to be very good. So we might be able to hold up there, but it might just be smarter to fall back. One thing we have to remember is that the Germans are not able to use rail movement, whereas we are. So we have a rail movement capacity of like 75, I think. So in the north, basically where all my troops are, we're going to need to use that. I don't know about the south. I don't know if my teammate in the south will need that much, but Army Poznan will need to withdraw as well. And that's only 300 turns to hold. Maybe we could leave a small force to hold it, but otherwise, all of these need to come back as well. I need to find a good, maybe along the Warta would be a good place to hold. Let me see where I'm looking on the main map. Here we are. Okay. So here is Warsaw. The problem is we would want to just hold along the Vistula. And maybe the Bug River. But that would open half of Warsaw up for them. Anyway, everything else we just want to hold on this side of the Vistula. That would be ideal. So my forces stop around here, I think. No, Army Poznan, those guys are still ours. What about these? Okay, yeah, and this is where his forces begin. Army Lutz. Yeah. So basically, that is the dividing line between my forces and my allies' forces. Which is good to know. He's going to have a hard time of it, man. He's got a lot of troops, and he's got most of Poland's armor, at least, which is good. Oh, you know what? Actually, I can kind of see the line we'll probably want to make. Probably want, like, all of these guys out. And then we'll probably try to hold, like, along here. But he's gonna, oh, he would have to give up so much ground for that. But I'll briefly go over his area. I haven't taken a good look at it yet because I don't really need to. Let me show my, this is our Air Force. It's not very good. You can see Most of our recon is up in my area. We'll take a quick overview of his forces, and then we'll have to end, because my meeting with him is in 5 minutes. So he's going to have the main bulk of the German forces around here-ish, I think, if I remember right. Just north of here. Now this area, this is going to be a big cluster, if you know what I mean. Look here, look at all this urban terrain. So you're going to start seeing some Slovak units down here. Yeah, here they are. So, anyway, interesting, isn't it? This is a massive map, and now you're seeing it. If you watched my overview, oh, here's Lutz. If you watched my overview of Poland 39, you'll know this map is huge. It's the biggest map in all of this game series history. It really allows you for like full-on operations, full-on operational level warfare. Like this is an entire country. I don't think they've ever shown something like this before. So it's very exciting. But I think that is my teammate messaging me. So I need to get going. It's been, how long? Almost half an hour. So if you did not watch that other series, I highly recommend it. It'll definitely help with it'll definitely help you understand more about the map and about the game in general. But I hope you enjoyed this overview. I will be showing off this AAR as we go through the game. It's not going to be a regular thing because, well, the AAR after action report will not be a regular thing because we're not playing these turns at a regular rate because they're so big. So this will just be updates that'll go up on the channel occasionally, like maybe every couple weeks or so. Maybe faster than that. But I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you're excited as I am. We'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.